Hi guys, it's Locs QA and welcome to my channel. So in this video today I want to do a quick Q&A session about my locks. So let's get started. Question number 1, how long were you natural before locking? So I transitioned to having natural hair in August of 2012, I believe. I decided to stop relaxing my hair, and at that time I had about shoulder length hair, and so I just stopped relaxing my hair and made the transition to being natural. Question number 2, why did you lock your hair? So at the time that I decided to lock my hair, I had been natural for about 5 or 6 years, and I was really just getting tired of the day-to-day routine of doing my hair. I wanted to wear my hair down, which meant that I had to do a lot of prep work the night before, even the week before, to have a style that lasted for a long time. And detangling my hair was a mess. It took a long time, and so I really just wanted to find an easier way to manage my hair. And growing up I always wore braids, so I was used to caring for my hair in that type of style instead of actually having loose natural hair or loose type 4 hair that had been relaxed. And so I had always been curious about locks, and something stuck with me about them, and I just started doing research to see what was out there, to see what I liked and what was the best route for me. Question 3, how long was your establishment? So being that this is my 3rd set and this is my smallest set, my establishments took between 15 to, I would say, 25 hours. I think this is my longest establishment. It was between 20 and 25 hours, and it took the longest just because this was a smaller set and there are sections that I would start, complete, and then I would just take that section down and just do it over again just because I didn't like the way that it looked. But this was definitely my longest establishment, even when I had longer hair than my other 2 sets that I've had. Question number 4, why Braidlocs? So why did I decide to do Braidlocs? That's a very good question. So I was actually very interested in doing sister locks. I knew that they cost a lot of money, which I was prepared to pay, but the issue that I had was actually finding someone who could do my hair. And so I visited 2 consultants. The first consultant, she was about to move away, and she was charging $500 flat for an installation. And when I look back on it, I sometimes wish that I had taken advantage of it, and I'll get into more why I didn't go with her. But so I visited 1 consultant. She was going to charge a flat rate of $500. The second consultant, she had her own salon, and she really knew what she was doing, and I thought that she was the right fit. But I had a lot of questions and concerns about what I wanted with my locks, and she wasn't sure that she was the right person based on the concerns that I had. And so we ended up not having her do my locks, my establishment, and because I didn't really have anyone else at that point, I think that was my 3rd person that I had visited. There was another thing that I saw before the one who charged the $500 flat fee. I made it the appointment via email. I traveled to the woman's house. She was actually doing a customer's hair when it was time for my appointment, and she was just like really confused. She didn't know why I was there, and then when she looked at her email after I left, she realized like she did book an appointment with me, and so she tried to apologize and all of that, and that was just a mess. And so it wasn't really worth it for me to travel to someone who, 1, wasn't on top of their appointment, and then 2, just because it was such a long travel, I would have to take the bus or Uber, and it's further away from my house than my current location, so I wasn't really willing to do that, and so I just decided not to go with that woman either. I wasn't interested in trying to find somebody else and just having to build a relationship and go from there, and just decided to go ahead and braid my hair because I knew that that was an option as a way to start your lock. And the reason why I chose braids over just doing 2-strand twists was I knew that the twists would unravel and they would bunch a little bit more than braids, and so I wasn't really sure that I could manage that just because I know that I was twisting my hair before, and it just seemed like a lot more maintenance than braiding your hair, and so I chose braids. Question number 5, how have people reacted to you having locks? So my family, they have had mixed reactions. My dad actually lives with his like immediate family, the family that he had growing up, and his nieces and nephews, and so a lot of them have locks, and so it's very interesting because he should be more accepting of locks just because he's around people who have locks. My mom and my sister, they're not really familiar with locks. They don't. I did have a teammate who had locks growing up, but that was kind of really all we knew about locks. And so their concern was that I would lock my hair and then I would want to wear it down, meaning down in its loose natural state. And it was already very hard for me to wear my hair down as a loose natural, and so I felt like that wasn't something that I was really going to care about. And then what's interesting is that I did have a set of locks for about 2 years, and I actually wore my hair down more when I was locked than I did as a loose natural, and that was just because of how easy and flexible it is to have locks. In terms of my coworkers and the workplace, there wasn't really any negative reaction. I mean, I'm sure people were curious about what my hair was because it didn't look like traditional locks, but you could kind of tell that it was braided, and so you didn't really know what I was doing with my hair. Not everyone would come up to me and ask me questions, but I could see them looking at my hair and just kind of like trying to figure out what was going on. But I did have one coworker who like knew what I was doing kind of, and so she was just very supportive, and she was like, yeah, I think locks are beautiful, your hair looks great, and all of that. And so yeah, that was interesting. I didn't get any negative reaction. I didn't have people say, oh, your hair looks crazy, you need to change it, or your hair smells and you need to take those down, or anything like that. Everyone was really just more curious about what I was doing with my hair, and they took notice of how my hair looked. So yeah. Question number 6, who are your lock inspirations? So when I first started doing my research for locks, I did more research into traditional locks just because I wanted to see what the process was like. So back in the day when I was first doing my research, I would probably say that I started around 2015, even though I didn't lock until the end of 2017. My lock inspirations, definitely Pretty Poison. She was one of the first people that I looked at on YouTube. She didn't have sister locks, she had traditional locks that she two-strand twisted, and she was making all of these videos just showing her journey, and I really loved watching her videos. And to see her start with, like, I think she had about chin-length hair, and now her hair is down her back, as long, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. And she was one of the first people that I started watching. And then also Keisha Charmaine, she was one of the people that I started watching as well. Dynamic runner, Kayla, she had a lot of videos, tutorials really showing like what the interlocking process was like, and that was very cool for me to see because that was something that I was interested in doing because I used to play basketball, I work out a lot, and so I knew that I would be sweating at least 2 to 3 times a week from my workouts, and I wanted something that wouldn't unravel or come undone as usually. And so her videos were very helpful just for me learning how to interlock my hair. And then in terms of sister locks, the only person that sticks out at the top of my mind is Latoya. I think she goes by the Latoya on Instagram, and she doesn't have like tutorials or anything like that, but she was one of the first people that I saw with sister locks and who was very visible on Instagram. There was also somebody else that was on Instagram that I actually saw on the train one day. I had been doing a bunch of research, so I was pretty familiar with like people who had locks and who were popular on Instagram and all of that. And so one of the women that I saw on Instagram, I saw her on the train. I wasn't sure if it was her, but I knew it was her. And so I ended up reaching out to her on Snapchat and just telling her like, hey, I recognize you and all of that, and then just sharing my journey with her. And so that was really cool to see this one person in person, and to also like build like not a relationship, but just have a conversation with her and just kind of like hear from someone who has locks. And so yeah, those are my lock inspirations. Question number 7, what is the biggest lesson that you have learned while having locks? So the biggest lesson that I have learned is definitely to go for whatever it is you want to do. So when I first wanted to lock my hair, basically nobody was supportive of what I wanted to do for myself and for my life. And so I think the biggest lesson is that if you want to do something, just go ahead and do it. It doesn't really matter what anyone else says, what anyone else thinks. If it's what you want to do and you know it's right for you and you feel it like deep in your gut that, hey, this is me, this is gonna take my life and the way I feel about myself to the next level, go ahead and do it and don't let anyone stop you. Number 8, how many locks do you have? So in this set, I counted and I had about 530 locks. I have taken some down to resize them a few times, so I actually don't know how many I have right now. If I were to guess, I would say maybe that I have now 520 locks. Question number 9, any lock regrets? This is not necessarily a regret, but just something that I think may have made a difference, but it would have completely altered my natural hair journey. So I'm not sure that it's a regret more than I wish I had just been aware of this option. And my regret is that when I first went natural, I decided to stop relaxing my hair, and then I eventually big chopped. So I think what would have been good to kind of like be aware of at that time was that locks were an option. I could have easily, instead of big chopping my hair, I could have easily just braided my hair up and then just interlock the new growth and then eventually cut my hair once it was at the length that I wanted, or if it just depended on how my relaxed hair had developed over time, because it's probably going to look a lot different from my natural hair when it's locked. And so I think back then I wish I was just aware of that option, even though I'm very grateful for the journey that I did have, because it allowed me to really see what my natural hair was like, to try different products and all of that. And so I'm really grateful, but I do wish that I was aware of that option when I first started my natural journey. Question number 10, do you have a goal length? So I do have a goal length, and it's about mid-back or waist length. Being that I just cut my hair, it's going to take me much longer to get to that length. But yeah, that is something that I have in mind. I'm also okay with my hair just being between shoulder length and mid-back or bra strap length. I don't really need to have crazy long hair. I do want to see if I can grow my hair that long and what the state of my hair is at that length. So if it's healthy, if it's damaged, whatever. So I do want to see that, but I'm totally okay with having hair that is past my shoulders and between bra strap length. Number 11, who maintains your hair? So I actually have a loctician that I go to every 6 weeks. She is out in Co-op City. I live in the Bronx, and she is amazing. She's great to work with, and she's been very accommodating with me, you know, starting a set, cutting it off, starting a new set, taking it down, and starting a new set. So she's just really great to work with, and she does a great job. And if you want her contact info, just please let me know in the comments, and I can DM that information to you. Question 12, how often do you wash your hair? I wash my hair once a week, which is what I was doing before, but my mindset around washing my hair is a little bit different. Since I was 2 years into my journey, I was able to stop braiding and banding maybe about 6 months in, and it's not that I was able to, I just decided to stop braiding and banding, and I wish I would have continued to do that longer and kind of knew more about what braiding and banding should look like. It used to be really fun to do my hair with my last set that was longer, because I didn't have to braid and band, and so now that I have to braid and band, it takes a little bit more time before I can actually wash my hair, but my goal is to do it about once a week. Sometimes I'll braid and band my hair the night before and then just wash it the next day. I usually like to wash my hair on Fridays, so after work I'll put my hair in the braids and then band them, and then I will go ahead and wash my hair. I sometimes like to take my braids out the same day, but out of laziness and just not wanting to be bothered with it, I have also taken them out the next day as well. Question number 13, what products do you use? So right now, the only products that I really use on my hair are shampoo. So I use Schwab's Clarifying Shampoo, so that big light blue bottle of liquid. And I also use Shea Moisture's Shea Butter Moisture something shampoo, moisture retention shampoo, I believe. And that's really all I use. I was using oil on my hair before, but because this is a new set that's smaller and I did have some slippage and unraveling, I am not using any oils on my hair currently. I am interested in introducing new shampoos into my hair, so I would love to try out different shampoos. I know that when I was a loose natural, I was using products that were more like strawberry scented or coconut scented, and I wasn't really worried about buildup or anything like that because my hair wasn't locked at that point. And so I would love to use more products like that I would obviously dilute them, but I am interested in trying out different products. I know kind of what works for me, but I also want to kind of like see what's out there. Number 14, what tools do you use to interlock your hair? So I actually started out with a yarn needle when I was first interlocking my hair. This was before I had actually established the set, but I kind of wanted to play around with the process and see what it was like. So I started out with the yarn needle, and then I upgraded to using the nappy lock tool. And that has been great. I think I have a medium and a small, and then I just recently got a micro size nappy lock tool, and that has been really great. It's much better fitted for the size of the locks that I have, and it's been really great. When I first ordered my nappy lock tool, they didn't have the micro size tool, but now they do, and it's awesome. So if you need a smaller interlocking tool, definitely go ahead and check that out. The reason why I chose the nappy lock tool was because I really liked just the small size of it, very thin and like material and just very slim looking. There wasn't it wasn't super long, it wasn't super thick, and it wasn't heavy or anything like that. So it seemed like the right fit for my hair needs. Question number 15, do you use a satin cap at night? So yes, I do sleep with a satin cap at night. I also have satin pillowcases. During my first set of locks that I had for about 2 years, I was sleeping with a satin scarf or a satin do-rag, but I did not have the satin pillowcases. And the reason why I got the satin pillowcases was because that my scarf and my cap would slip off during the middle of the night, and I wanted something on my pillows that would protect my hair. I am also looking into, once my hair is locked and more mature, I would be interested in just switching to not wearing a sleep cap or a scarf and just having my satin pillowcases. Question number 16, how did you manage lint or buildup in your locks? So with my first set of locks that I had for about 2 years, I don't think I really had much lint at the ends or within the body of my locks. I did have like lint that would come in like the same day if I wore a hat or something like that, and that was easy to pick out. I didn't really notice lint on my ends a whole lot, and so that wasn't something that I really had to deal with my hair. What I did have in my hair was buildup from using too much shampoo and not being able to rinse it out correctly just because my hair was locked. And so I did have that buildup issue that I was able to treat with ACV. And so if you have that issue, I would recommend giving that a try and seeing what that does for your locks. Question number 17, this is our last question. What advice would you give to a lock newbie? So some advice I would give to a lock newbie is just to, if you really want to lock your hair, go for it. Definitely check out videos on YouTube just to find out the basics of how to care for your hair, how to interlock your hair and all of that, what products to use and so on. If you have a loctician, I definitely recommend going to them first and just getting all of the information that you need and having them help you to start your locks off on the right foundation. If you are someone who wants to do it yourself and you want to start your own locks, you want to maintain them, that's great, that's perfect, there's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure that you do your research so that you know what is out there, what's the correct way to do things, and then eventually through trial and error you will learn what works for your hair. And so don't get discouraged at any point during your journey. Just remember it's all a learning process. Also, if you want to check out some of my videos for any tips on how to manage your hair, how to wash your hair, definitely check out my channel and let me know if you want to see more videos from me. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment box below, and thanks for watching, guys. Bye.